Hello and welcome to the next episode of Two Girls Talk Transit. Today we're reviewing the astrology from June 22nd through June 28th, 2025, and we're your hosts. I'm Maddie.
And I'm Kaylee.
Welcome back. So we have a really busy week this week, so we're just gonna jump right in, but hopefully you were noticing all the stories from the Mars-Uranus square collectively, at least, like the protest, the major conflict between Israel and Iran,
Yeah,
and just all that drama. Did you
yeah.
notice anything in particular?
Somebody did bring it up to me. They were like, "Did you see this happened?" And I actually didn't see that it happened because I wasn't like plugged into the news.
Hmm.
But I do have awareness that like stuff was going on.
Yeah, it was to be expected. Like it was just a lot of energy, like it was a lot
Hmm.
of energy. And I think that's like very Mars Uranus. But now Mars is in Virgo, so we're calming down.
Yeah, thankfully, I think we'll really appreciate that. I mean, Mars feels like it's like been in Leo's realms for like the longest time because it retrograded back into Cancer and then popped back into Leo. So it's just been like dancing between those two houses for forever. And
It's almost been a full year between those two houses because it entered
yeah.
into Cancer in September.
Oh
So
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, it was literally almost been a full year of like just two houses for Mars.
It's too much. It's like goodbye.
Drama. So,
Hmm.
anyways, though, we'll start out this week on Sunday with Mars fresh in Virgo making a nice sextile to Jupiter in Cancer, which I think is really good for, again, slowing down actions and being more critical thinking about your actions. And Jupiter, of course, is the big expansion point in our lives, and the sextile is like aligning your actions with what you actually want to see grow, what you're actually wanting to see become abundant and helpful. um and it's like it's slow, steady stuff. Like I feel like it's more like emotional work than actually doing something with the body, which is like more fire. I feel like this is more slow, steady, like mindfully choosing to do different things. Like that's very Mars and Virgo at this time. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like Mars and Virgo, like I feel like it's gonna sort out the details and it's gonna be very like cognizant of like the practicalities and the little steps we need to take. It's extremely detail oriented. So I think like Mars and Leo can be not that it's like absent of the details, but it's just like moves a little bit faster and with a little bit more haste. So we don't
Mm.
like take the time to like parse out those like small things. Um, with Mars and Virgo here, we will really, I think, be motivated, I think, to focus on like the smaller aspects of our goals and our dreams, which are equally as important as like the big sweeping motions too. So, yeah, we're definitely going to be experiencing some of that. Mars and Virgo, just like separately from this transit, I think we're also going to be like, this is a good time to like get organized and like clean your space and like make sure that your ducks are in a row. Yeah, things like that.
Right. It's just like the some emotional mental clearing out that's like needed
Yeah.
before you can really take like clear action, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. With the Jupiter and Cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, sweet start to the energy, of course, overall. So we like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I think it won't be bad. Okay. So on that same day, we have the Sun in Cancer. And it's squaring that Saturn and Neptune in Aries with a little bit more focus on the Saturn because it's an exact
Yeah, it will
degree.
go exact to Neptune like that night.
Oh, Saturn moves. Yeah, if I
Or
probably.
the Miss Unwell, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, so there's some kind of like awareness that we're getting in, your Cancer ruled house, probably very likely some emotional awareness or familial awareness, mother awareness. Um, that we're getting. And it's like you're maybe understanding like what are the limitations or what are the things that I cannot see in relationship to that. It's like clarity of blockages and like things like that are a bit confusing. So it's like you understand, oh, like I know that I don't necessarily get this thing, or I know that I don't necessarily like understand this thing fully, and that can be maybe related to your emotions. Like maybe your emotions at the time are like a little bit confusing and you're not really understanding like how do I set boundaries or how do I like move through this. Yeah, what do you think, Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, I think on some hand it's kind of relating back to the square
Mm-hmm.
to those two planets that we've had the previous week. And like where you want to expand, where you want to find abundance or ease, like, well, we'll go back a little bit. Like, Cancer is a place where we're having more ease and more comfort and more expansion and period. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like that expansion is being thwarted or like being pulled back due to Saturn, Neptune, either due to other responsibilities or are also like beliefs or like spiritual needs, and just the combination of those two things, what do we believe in, is holding us back, but also our responsibilities to the practical world kind of holds us back too. And so I just think like pretty much what you said with the sun coming in as a awareness, it's just showing us more of like this dynamic of Saturn and Neptune in Aries where we are really restricted in our movement, but we maybe really want to do something. We really want to start something. We really want to create. Like I have noticed with all this cardinal energy, like so many people starting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw so many people, I launched this, like I feel like that's all very so cardinal and like but Saturn still wants you to move really slowly through that and carefully through that. And so there's a awareness of like, maybe these things need to take more time. Maybe I need to check in with how I believe about them or like what I'm feeling internally. Um, it's just awareness of like how you're expanding, but also how it's not quite going the path that you thought it would,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know?
really good point. Like a bigger picture view would be like, in Cancer, Sun and Jupiter in Cancer, we want this emotional beginning, emotional like fulfillment in some way. Virgo, Mars comes in, like what are the details that we need to like get there? And then Saturn is like that bigger like, you still have these responsibilities over here that you need to take care of, like make sure that you're taking care of like yourself holistically also, I think.
Right.
Because we can't just focus on like, oh, I want this like emotional fulfillment, like that's just one side like piece of the pie, we have like other aspects of life too. So yeah, but I do think you like brought up a good point with like the cardinal energy that I think a lot of us are inspired to have like some sort of new emotional beginning happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is just becoming aware of like the actual work that it takes to have that new beginning happen, like that's just Saturn. And I think I don't know, I think I've noticed that with myself. Like I've wanted to start a lot of things, but it's like, it's not quite time, or I need more time. And that's like being very aware of the Saturnian component.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally get that too. I'm like relating the same. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't feel like also I have that like idea like, oh, I want to start something, but I need to get a little bit more clear on like exactly what that thing is. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And so it's a little bit of a downer too. I just think the Sun square Saturn sometimes is a little bit of like a slow down energy.
Hmm.
So just be mindful of that
Yeah, I totally
going.
agree with you. Yeah.
But then
Go ahead. Yep.
okay, and then on the Tuesday, we'll actually have the Sun conjunct Jupiter on the 24th. And that's really cute.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I love those Sun Jupiter conjunctions are always like really lucky days, really abundant, flowing days. They really do tend to fill you up with optimism. I've really noticed that with Jupiter being in Cancer. Like when Jupiter was in Gemini, I did not have a lot of optimism.
Same, same. Yeah.
But
I
like
definitely feel that too. Yeah.
right. And now it's in Cancer. I'm like, but I can do it. Like this is possible. Like in
Hmm.
Gemini, I was like, oh my God, that's impossible. Do you not see all the details that why it won't work? Like
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I totally get that. I see it in other people too. I've been noticing like other people a little bit more like alive and optimistic, and I'm like, interesting.
and I really feel like that's the Jupiter and Cancer. And so you're coming off of the square with Saturn from the sun, which may have felt more limiting. It may have felt more frustrating. It may have felt more of like a decrease. And now we're meeting Jupiter, and it's still like, I can still do this. I can still create this. I can still trust this process and feel into that abundance. And it's sort of like an uplifting energy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think too we'll be able to like tap into that like Jupiter energy a little bit more and feel like what Jupiter in Cancer like is really all about. Like for me, I've been noticing Jupiter's in my third right now.
Hmm.
And I've been having like more interactions with like people in my community. Like the other
Mm.
day my daughter let my dog out and he like ran away to like the next neighborhood and I like had to go and talk to the neighbor and be like, "Hey." And then also I took her to like a little coffee shop and there was like this older man there and she goes, "What's your favorite color?" And it's just like these like cute little interactions with like, daily like neighborhoodly things. But yeah, have you noticed anything with Jupiter and Cancer?
Not so much.
Are you getting
Just
good
like
sleep?
no, not even really, honestly.
Dang.
Yeah, no, it's just all my 12th house. Yeah, I mean, I've been really getting more serious about like routines, like morning routines, nighttime routines, which I feel is very 12th house because it's like before
Hmm.
you start the day and when you end the day, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so I've been doing more of that, but no, I mean it still squares all my Libra placements, so it's not always, I mean, even though Jupiter is much easier than Mars, it's not always a comfortable
yeah,
feeling. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I had a hard time when Jupiter was in my 12th. Just like,
Right.
yeah, having like a lot of alone time for sure.
Yeah, it is. It
Hmm.
is. It's still the 12th house. Like it's still Jupiter expanding 12th house theme. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay, so
But
the next day I'm gonna be off probably by the degrees, but let's see if I can get it. Oh, it's not too bad. It's only a degree. So we have
yeah.
the new moon in Cancer happening here. Let's see. We have Maddie, do you want to start talking about this one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can't see if like the aspects are not there. I don't want to like.
No, you're okay. I mean, the new moon in Cancer here is really it's with Jupiter. That's the first thing I see here is
Hmm.
like obviously we're still coming off of the Jupiter Sun conjunction, and so the one end is a very nurturing new moon. The moon rules Cancer, and then the exaltation ruler is also
Hmm.
here. So it is, I think it's like really asking for softness, slow down, taking more ease, and just like nurturing yourself and maybe bringing in comforts where it's available. Aspect wise, like it's still coming off of the square with Saturn and Neptune. So I still think that's a piece, but it's
Yeah.
not, it's like more in the past, right? Like it's more of a feeling that this was really restrictive and difficult to deal with. So I see that, but I'm going to nurture the space that I do have right now. And then, there is a sloth sextile with
Yeah.
Mars,
Yeah.
but that's like very gentle action. I feel like again, we're not doing anything crazy with like Mercury ruling the Mars in Cancer. We're just like, I'm going to take some action to protect this space or to like I'm gonna spend the day organizing my house so it's really cozy for this evening or something, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, there could be like definitely particular focus on like the home or like just cozying whatever space like Cancer rules for you. Yeah, like just making it nice and like an enjoyable space to be. I think this new moon will be nice. I think it's like a little refresh, especially since it's like the new moon. Have like a new little fresh beginning. I don't see anything like particularly harsh. Um, so I think that's nice.
No, and I do think one thing you could do with this new moon besides like, I mean, witchy ways, it's really good for manifesting this new moon is 100%, just because it has all these nice aspects. But also you could think about like, what do you want Jupiter to change in the next year? Because like
Mhm.
this new moon is with Jupiter, and we have a year of Jupiter in Cancer until next June. So like, what intention would you want to set? Like, what would you like to see expand in your life? And you can look into your Cancer house, but you should also look to your Sagittarius house and your Pisces house of those areas of like potential expansion and growth, and maybe reorient a goal around that space, you know?
Right. Even looking like I think to your moon too, like where your moon is in your
Yeah.
chart. I think that could like pull it into. But yeah, definitely. I think you have like some solid like suggestions there because I think, where manifestation might meet astrology, like if you want to like amp it up a little bit, look to, those places that Maddie just said. We can get like a lot of clarity of where like not only where do we want to expand, but where is the current energy there to expand?
Right.
Like what are we being supported in expanding? And get really clear about that. Do some research on those houses and see, like, what out of those themes of those houses do I want to extract from this time or for this time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, and then like, and do think long term, like for at least a year, with Jupiter here, but like
Hmm.
you can help you make short-term goals when you know what your long-term purpose is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. Yes.
So I don't know, really cute new moon in the middle of the week on Wednesday. I don't know. Try not to work.
Right? I would ideally like not like to work that much, like maybe like 5 days a month. It's good for me.
One day a week.
Okay, I'll bump it up 2 days a week.
Oh, really, really relatable though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, right?
I understand too much. So we finish up with the new moon on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, Mercury is at the very end of Cancer.
Yep.
Is going to, yeah, it's going to make a little sextile to Uranus and Taurus at the very end of Taurus. So the moon,
Wow.
yeah, the moon's going to be kind of close by too, but still in
Hmm.
Cancer. I really like this aspect. It's like you have the new moon, which fills you with this feeling of abundance and faith and hope and optimism and excitement. And then, you're like, okay, what do I do with this energy? And it's like Mercury making that sextile to Uranus is like, oh, I can do this. I have this idea or I have this creative output.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Mercury and Uranus work well together. Like a Mercury Uranus person in general, like as an archetype would be somebody like that's very innovative and has like a lot of ideas. So like this coming in together is like maybe a bunch of new like idea sparks come in. Yeah, and which can like be actually really exciting to feel, especially if you've been feeling like mentally stagnant in some way, or from the aspects like earlier in the week you hadn't like exactly like parsed out what you wanted to do. This might come in and be like, oh, or like idea overload. Here you go. Here's all the things you've been waiting for, like the mental clarity at least.
Really creative energy, really like putting the pieces together, really being able to make sense of everything, being able to like understand what you were missing and then what you need. And I don't know, it's it's like softer, but it's sweeter.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you know when Uranus pops over?
Yeah, it's like July 7th.
Oh, so it's pretty soon, like within the next 2 weeks. So this
Yeah,
will be
very
like,
soon.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
um
It could
a
kind of
final
be
wrap
this
up.
last,
Yeah,
right, these last little ideas about Uranus and Taurus and maybe what you need to change in that area of your life.
right. Right before it pops over into Gemini.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's pretty cool. Um,
right.
yeah, so
So,
go ahead.
no, I don't think I was gonna add any more. I think that was, yeah, that's
Uh,
just the last little cute aspect, but
Yeah. On the same day, though, I'll actually go back so we can see the same aspects. It's on the same day. We have the
mm,
Sun in Cancer, sextiling Mars in Virgo.
yeah, that little completion from the new moon, then,
Right, yeah. Um, similar themes. We
right, taking action.
yeah. We got some action going on here. So this is a cute little day because it's like the ideas come in and then also inspires you to like take action on whatever those ideas are. um, we're kind of like beginning to see like more of the fuller picture since you are taking some action. Things are starting, like puzzle pieces are kind of starting to come together. So that might be just like a nice little day where it's like earlier in the week, you might not have like totally mapped it out, but as the week progresses, we've gotten some things that are kind of falling together from new ideas and then the action that you take. Anything you want to add there?
No, pretty much. It's just like it may not even be taking action though. It may just be planning. Like I feel like
Yeah.
Virgos love planning and love like organizing, and it may just be like planning and organizing your energy already and then seeing what you need to change it to and, just like getting clear and clarity on this new intention you have set.
Yeah, that could. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, planning is totally part of like the action taking process. Like sometimes you need like a clear, like, how am I going to get from A to B? But that's like super, super good that you highlighted that because definitely like it could be the day that you pull out like your planner and you're like, okay, what am I going to do like to,
Yeah, I mean,
make this thing a thing? Yeah.
I just felt like with Mars and Leo, there was no planning. People were just like
Yeah.
acting and doing and like chaotic, which was fine. But like, do you know what it's like to like make a plan of action again? You know?
Yeah. That's very true. Today on this day, Mars will be conjunct my Chiron, so I'm excited to see what that's about.
Great. Sounds fun.
Oh, it's gonna
All
be
the
the best.
places where you didn't plan, it's coming back to get to you.
Right.
All the
Oh
times you,
Lord.
you didn't. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
I
at
think
the
actually,
very,
yeah, go
wait, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think this actually happens later that night on
Yeah,
the
it does.
26th, but I had to pop it over to the next day. But we still have Mercury entering Leo on the night of the 26th.
Yep, Thursday.
Yep. Mercury entering Leo, you can have more like Leo loves like the limelight, it loves attention. So you could be like focusing more on like you speaking or sharing ideas in some way that like garners attention. Maybe you're like
Mm.
interested in like um, like getting on your soapbox and being like, this is my thing, this is like what I stand for, and pay attention to me because I have good ideas. So Um, definitely if you're like a writer or like a speaker or, you share your voice in some way, I think this will be like a supportive little aspect for you to be noticed.
Yeah, it is. Leo is a sense of self, and it's like, how do you use yourself to share your ideas, to like kind of advertise yourself or like show up, or
Hmm.
like how do you express yourself too? Like I think Mercury and Leo is like, how do we express ourselves and how do we want other people to see us in the way that we are expressing ourselves?
Hmm.
So definitely much more aggressive communication slightly, but it's not bad. I mean, I Mercury will retrograde here I had the date, but I didn't write it down. I think it was like later July, July 18th or around there when it will
Okay.
station. So Mercury is going to start to slow down. So just my only warning with Mercury and Leo is like if you are really aggressive in terms of how you communicate your beliefs and ideas and like how you want other people to see you, just make sure you can answer to it, like, when it comes back around to review. Like, are you really confident in those ideas, or are you just saying that because it
Yeah.
brings you attention?
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, like sometimes like Leo energy can be a little bit like prideful and like in itself and like kind of confident for no reason sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, especially with like Mars and Virgo, like people might come around to like fact check you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Good
like,
point.
yeah, like make sure that what you say is like you've done, the research on and you know that like I actually have a reason and a cause to stand up and speak about this thing. Um, I would not be surprised if there's like a lot of drama going around, a lot of like he said, she said kind of stuff,
Mm.
and people getting really loud about beliefs and ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, like, what's optimism and hope from the new moon, and now you're like, I have to share this with everyone in the world. Everyone has to listen to me because I know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
On the 27th, Friday, then Mercury and Leo. The rest of the aspects are really going to be about Mercury. Mercury's going to trine Saturn in Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so,
So trine Saturn. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, maybe that will temper our forward aggression of self-expression a little bit. Be like
Give it some
mindful.
structure. Yeah.
Right. A little more restraint to our communications. But this may help you work more with the Saturn energy. We were talking about how the planets in Cancer were being squared by Saturn and showing up as a restriction or limitation. But then Mercury here trining Saturn can show you how to work with it. Like, okay, if you know that that's a restriction, what ideas can you have to like honor it or like heal it or like, I don't know, just like work through that barrier that needs more time and space.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely like two. So if it's like I don't know why I keep thinking of like the planets as like little personal people. Like but if like Aries were a person and then Leo were a person, like they're gonna be collaborative in their energy. Like they're gonna work well together. Like Aries comes in and is like, these are the things that we need to do, like the steps, the plans that we need to take, and then Leo's like, here's my ideas, like what do I do with them? And then,
Right.
like um yeah, they're both like complementing each other. So that works really well, I think. And then on the next day, we're moving into a trine with Neptune. So clear this one.
Yeah. I mean, the Saturn Neptune thing is hard to distinguish separately
I
because they're
know,
so
right?
close together right now.
Yeah. It's like it's happening like at the same time you're like setting boundaries. There's like something or setting structures. There's like some kind of element that's like deeply tied into like your beliefs and um like maybe like hopes and dreams and things like that. It's like
Right. It's
happening at the
like
same time. Yeah.
the need to honor your dreams and your delusions in some way
Yeah.
require structure.
Right, right. It's like
It's
you're
so
yeah.
different.
I know we're not yeah, we're definitely like not used to this energy, but I think
No.
like we're definitely going to be asked to like I think you said it so well, like honor our hopes and dreams, And the
Yeah.
way that we honor that is by setting plans, like even if it seems ridiculous,
Right.
like what are the plans to get there? Um,
Right.
yeah. But I think this aspect will kind of highlight that is like our your ideas and like your hopes and dreams, like it's coming more into play here on this day.
I agree. And so I don't know. It's sweet. Um,
Hmm.
We'll just wrap this up though. The last thing that Mercury does then on Saturday on the 28th is then, but it also now comes opposite Pluto.
Mhm.
And it will do more on like the morning of the 29th, but I feel like we will also be feeling it.
On the
And
28th, yeah.
yeah, just like, there's an intensification, with the Leo house with Pluto opposite in Aquarius now. It's like your self-expression and your ability to shine in terms of your own right. There is some sort of like power dynamic or like authority or something kind of that is hindering you of it. I feel like um that can be a piece, but also then like a need to get to really deep, dark spaces of your psyche or of your planning and of your mind as well.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally see that. I find it so interesting, like, these 2 are, like, sister uh, like, sister signs, and, yeah, I find it interesting, like, how opposite these 2 energies are. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess all of them are, like, super opposite, but I don't know, this, like, specific axis, like, really I get curious about it sometimes. Um, Aquarius is very much, like, the humanitarian, and then Leo is, like, "But do it for yourself," you know?
Right.
And, um, yeah, it's interesting, but we are getting, like, maybe it is kind of speaking to that opposition. It's like you wanna be a humanitarian, but how do you also, take care of yourself and your own needs, while the humanitarian world seems to be falling apart in aspects, what ways?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's like that opposition between like you have all these great, cool ideas for yourself, but like in the outer world, it's like,
Is that helping the collective? And
yeah, is
yeah.
that helping? Or like, can you even help the collective though? Do you even have the authority or power within yourself to help or make a change? And then like, but you are part of it. So in some way you are influencing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard. I think about this a lot. Like at
Yeah.
what point is like helping the self, helping the collective, and at what point is the helping the collective, helping the self? It's very
Right.
like it is. It's at totally opposite ends sometimes, and it can really feel like that. Yeah.
I feel like they're opposite, but I also feel like in some way they're related. And so, you know,
Yeah,
I don't,
because too,
yeah,
like when you like fuel yourself, that also helps the collective when you fuel the collective. Yeah.
exactly. But it's like you need to be good intentions because there are narcissists and there are like people who truly only selfishly think for themselves.
So true. I
And
mean, yeah, if you go too far in like the Leo realm, it's like you could
right,
hurt the collective.
exactly.
Yeah, and go too far in the other one, you could really hurt yourself. Like if you're
Ex-
like, yeah, too giving, you might end up with yourself having nothing. So,
Right.
yeah, just something definitely like to contemplate on this day. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe like Mercury is just like that contemplative energy that's like, how can I find like a nice balance between both?
Right. And then you just may, if it's you don't see anything with yourself, some secrets or some hidden information may come out from the governments, from the collective,
Hmm.
from the authority figures that directly come into your awareness. And that's like, oh, interesting. That can be something that happens on a larger scale. And then personally too, that you could be doing some deeper digging into yourself and like what is the balance of what you want and how that aligns with the world in some
Yeah,
way.
for sure. Yeah, I definitely think so too.
Okay. Well, I think that was all. It was a big week, and hopefully this podcast turns out okay.
It'll be
Oh my
okay.
gosh. That was such a nightmare with internet sometimes. But okay, well, if you want more content from us and more information from us, check out our Instagram and our TikTok at Two Girls Talk Transits. And we will see you all next week.
See you.
Bye.